Hi there, Hugo. Hope you're having a great day today. This is your video lesson. 3 things I want to talk about. I'll go down the list, and if you have questions at the end or want me to look at anything, feel free to shoot a message on over to me, and or have your parents shoot a message on over to me, and do my best to answer. So let's get to it. So first thing is talking about practice. There are 2 things that we can do. We can either, when we have our guitar in our hands, is one, we can either be practicing, or the other thing is we can be playing. And we talk about what the difference between I'll talk about it. Actually, I'm going to talk to me. But those are 2 distinct things. Practice is when we're working on something that we're not good at yet and that we're trying to get better at. Playing is just playing just through things and not worry about stopping and correcting anything. It's basically a stream of consciousness of you playing your guitar. And so it is very easy for us to always want to sound good and to play on things that we're already good at, that we can already do. For you, for example, that'd be kind of like saying, just work on a backtrack jam this week and just don't worry about anything else. Just do like the E minor pentatonic sort of thing and just, kind of just like, run scales and things like that, or just play different pentatonic riffs. And so if that's what your practice looks like, then you're not really practicing. You're already playing things that you can already do. Are you going to get better at playing the pentatonic scale? Yeah, but think of it this way, that you have your note reading, you have your chords, you have your song, you have your scales, and you want them all to be kind of getting in better at roughly the same rates. So if you spend all your time doing just one particular kind of practice, say for example pentatonics, right? Your soloing chops are going to be, they get up there, it'll be good. It's a good thing, right? But then your chord playing will be lacking, or your note reading will be lacking. So you'll come across someone else who maybe has more of an even approach, who might not be on the same level of soloing with you, but if you threw down at a guitar competition and they were grading, note reading, chords, blah blah, they might blow you out of the water in the other areas that are in some ways maybe even more important to be working on in your stage development. So really what you got to be doing is you got to be practicing a little bit of everything that we're working on, not just getting locked into pentatonic scales and soloing and jamming over backing tracks. As much fun that is, and you should absolutely have fun at some point in your practice. So you'll sit down. A good practice would be this: sit down, do your note reading, right? And then do your chord switching practice. We talked about with Cripple Creek is that one of the weak points in there is our strumming. We'll talk more about that in a minute. If you work on things that you can't do, that way when you show up to a jam, like a bluegrass jam, they might not care if you can solo over top of it, but if you can't play the chord changes, man, they're going to be like, hey, they sound nice, man, but we're going to bring someone else in, right? So the first order in like a jam is like, can you play the chords? That's like the first thing. If you can't play the chords, or you can't read the notes, going back to bluegrass, or going back to note reading, I'm going to get my soapbox here for a little bit. I'm kind of talking a lot today, but I feel like it's important to talk about, is that there are 3 genres of music where students absolutely have to be able to read music. And this is beyond like, are they a teenager, or are they a tween, or are they a young kid, or are they an adult, or something like that. These are just like 3 styles that you have to be able to read music. One is classical guitar. The other is jazz. And the other is bluegrass. If you play one of those 3 styles, or all 3, or any combination of them, you absolutely have to be able to read notes and be able to play the chords, right? Because just because you can play a blues lick, or a jazz lick, or a bluegrass lick, or a couple of finger picking patterns with classical music, that's not enough to survive in those situations, right? Because all those people who play in those genres aren't necessarily guitar players. In bluegrass, they're fiddle players. And in classical, you could have a wide array of orchestral instruments, piano, all kinds of stuff. You have to be able to talk to those people and be able to communicate with written music, right? That's how, at least in Western music, it's written down. Other societies it's different, but that's a different talk for another day. So to play Cripple Creek, guess what, man? I hate to break it to you, you got to be able to play the notes, right? You got to be able to read the notes on the page that we have, right? Or say Cripple Creek, you got to be able to play the chord changes. It's not enough just to play the tune or be able to jam over top of it. You got to play the chord changes, right? Otherwise, you won't sound sophisticated, or you can't solo the whole time. Someone else is going to take a solo, and you can't just sit there not doing anything. So, all in the soapbox conversation, the soapbox talk right now is that you have to be really balanced with your practice, right? You really have a good aptitude for single line note soloing, and I use the word aptitude. Your ability of is because you like doing it, right? You get better at things that you like doing. Right? So you have to do it spread evenly across the whole board, not just being like a really good lead player. Lead player who can't play the chords ain't gonna hang with the band because the rhythm player is like, wait a minute, like he doesn't even know what chords we're playing. He can't even play my part, right? What makes him think he can play lead? So be able to do that. Work on things you can't do yet. Right? And I think you'll get better and you'll have a better time at it. It's cool. So that's number one right there. And number two is something more tangible, is Cripple Creek. What I want from you for next time I see you in this room, virtual or in this room, you have to be able to play the chords, you gotta be able to play the melody. Flat out. That's what's gotta happen. So say, for example, Cripple Creek, we have that pattern. Whoops, guitar went out of tune. Listen, the alter tuning is a minute ago. Tune it back up. It was enough to be annoying. I was doing Pirate Turns 40, or no, Pirate Looks at 40 by Jimmy Buffett, and for that one you have to tune the bottom two strings down to a D and a G. So back in standard. There you guys go. All right, cool. Repeat that. D, 2, 1. Right? In any bluegrass jam you go to, man, that's the first thing you're going to check you on. Right? Can you just play with everybody without playing lead? Because I'm not going to let the new guy come in there and just shred over top and like, okay, he's just solo the whole time. Got to be able to play chords. Right? So I've written those chords out for you on the last time's assignment. If you can't find them or need me to rewrite them again, don't hesitate to have your mom or dad shoot me over a message. You're not going to bother me. If you need help with the chord changes, let me know. That way I can help you. Right? So be able to play through those changes for next time. Next thing you got to do in these kinds of situations with like jam songs is you got to be able to play the melody, right? Because that'll give you ideas for your solo. Right? It's going to make your solo even better. So say, for example, pretend I repeated there. I'm going to just go to the next section. Be able to play that for next time just as well. And I know you can do that because that melody is not any harder. Yeah, there are eighth notes in it, right? Those aren't that bad. In all the other tunes you played in your How book, this is probably, eighth notes all being equal. Like, this is like, chapter 3 in your new reading book, number 30-ish or something like that, 35-ish, right? So if I do that one more time. Right? I use elements of the melody in my solo. Right? It harkens back to what I played over there. So that's why it's important to have all three things taken care of in Cripple Creek. Your chords, your melody, and then your solo, because your solo, if you know the chords, if you know the melody, you can use those to build up going, oh, wait a minute, it's G chord. I should be targeting my notes G in here using G major pentatonic. So do that for me, have that all put together. And then for Sweet Home Chicago, I know we kind of did a side quest with Cripple Creek, but I think it's important for us to kind of make sure we keep Sweet Home Chicago kind of in the mix. Let's go through the A and the E chord patterns. So you have your first finger here on the 2nd fret, right? The pattern first. So you have open. If I were practicing that, I might just do that for a little bit. Just get used to that. So 0, 0, 3, 4. That's the fret numbers I'm calling out. 0, 0, 3, 4, 0. Just do that and get used to that pattern. Same exact thing, down 1 string. So I'm here, 2nd fret on the 4th string, open 5th string. Then 3rd fret, 4th fret, back to open. Right. Right, be able to do those 2 chords, and once you get that down, I'll show you the turnaround section. Yeah. But we'll do that next time. So cool, man. Work on those things for me. Remember that in learning how to play music, part of the journey is learning how to practice music. And I was a young guy once myself. I had to learn how to balance my practice and what should I be working on, not just playing the one thing I play really well all the time. All right, man. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you next time.